Hello, and welcome back to the Cyber Control Center for our new episode of Cyberman Son. This week, we're jumping forward quite a ways in time. Our last episode, do you remember when it was filmed? When it came out?
1969?
Close, 1968. Now, this episode is going whoop to 1975. A heck of a time jump. We've missed the third Doctor completely. We're now in the first season of the fourth Doctor. And there's a little quick bit of backstory that we need to do really quick, because the first season is actually kind of like a story arc. So, the fourth Doctor, he's brand new, newly regenerated fourth Doctor. He went thousands and thousands and thousands of years into the future to the Nerva space station, where humanity was in suspended animation. Do you remember the 11th Doctor episode, The Beast Below, where they're on the space whale?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the reason why they're on the space whale was because a solar flare had eradicated all life on Earth. And so different segments of humanity went off into space, and one of them stayed in a space station to be revived after the Earth was suitable for life again. And the Doctor visited them. And then he went down to Earth to fix a transmat receptacle, and he ran into a Sontaran down there. And then, as he was beaming back to Nerva, the Time Lords scooped up their signal and said, no, we need you to go to Skaro, and we're going to send you there to try to stop the Daleks from ever being created. And that was Genesis the Daleks. And then when that was done, they said, here's a time ring, and they shot them back forward in time, back to the Nerva space station. And that is where we are going to be joining. That's where this story is taking place. On their way back from using the time rings back towards the Nerva space station. And so do you know the name of today's story?
The Revenge of the Cybermen.
Revenge of the Cybermen, yeah. So it's been a long time since we've seen the Cybermen. I haven't seen this one. It's the only one in the season I haven't seen, so I'm kind of curious to see what exactly the Cybermen are up to and what exactly
I know
their plan
why it's
is.
called the Revenge of the Cybermen. Hey, it's been like 7 years. Get us back. Get us back in here.
Come on.
Pay us.
Anyway, should we start watching the show?
Yes.
Let's do it.
What?
So completely, totally different now. Now we're in the 70s.
Look at the intro now. That's little Brady. Oh, he does not look very handsome.
Leave poor Tom Baker alone.
Tom Baker, that's who that guy is?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that cool. Looks like Terry Fox. A little bit.
So here they are spinning back through space, coming back from, using the time ring, coming back from the past. And that was Nerva, the space station.
Is that the wheel?
No.
That looks like the wheel.
So...
Oh, thank heaven for that! We've made it!
Who are those?
Of course we've made it. Did you think we wouldn't?
Doctor.
Well, in
Sarah
the past
Jane.
few weeks, yes.
There's really nothing
Harry.
that could go wrong with a time ring, except a molecular short circuit.
Wait,
This
how far in the
beacon is
future?
a quarantine
Well, we don't
zone.
know yet.
We have a plague infection.
I wonder what
repeat,
year
we
this
have
is.
a plague infection.
Look, another plague.
Your drop over is
Another
transferred
plague.
to Ganymede Beacon 1906, 7 and 02.
But they're not covered
Do you
in
require a
wax.
repeat on those
Okay.
vectors?
Well, yeah.
Is it jammed?
The control's locked.
You mean we can't get any further?
Those poor fellows couldn't. They were trapped in the after end and left to die. Whoever did it might be on the other side of this door. There might be a way of opening it.
Look, are you sure we're in the right place, Doctor?
If you had
This
sonic
doesn't look like a
screwdriver,
hole.
Well, of course it doesn't. This is a different point
He
in
does. I
time.
don't know why he's not using it.
Some of that equipment. This is probably
Really?
a
He has
beacon
the sonic
put in orbit
screwdriver?
to service and guide space freighters.
So this is before the time
So why
of the
isn't he
solar flare
using it?
when the Earth was an atom.
Don't know.
Thousands of years
because
before.
that would
Harry.
work.
Oh, I'm not even going to think about it and get a headache.
All you have to remember is that this is where we parted company with the TARDIS.
What is it?
If they change things round, the TARDIS might materialize in the forward control rooms.
What do you think that is?
Excuse me?
What do you think it is?
It's a Cybermat.
It's Cybermat.
But what happened?
I don't know. I mean, I think they wanted them to look a little
This
better
is
than they
Nerva
used to, because they
Beacon.
used to look
I
like
repeat,
bug-eye
this is Nerva Beacon.
things, and now I think they want them to be sleek
Hello,
and dangerous
are you
looking.
reading me? This
That is
Nerva
not
Beacon.
dangerous looking.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they look kind of like puppets.
This beacon is staying operational. It stays operational.
This is after. This is a few hundred years after. This is the 29th century.
Oh.
This, the
Yes, I
BBC
think so.
website, this is the year
You two can put your
2875.
weight on the door and stop it opening too suddenly. Don't want to lose my arm. I'm attached to it.
They
So-
probably
so
say,
handy.
that means they must say that at
Yes.
some point.
This would have far better technology.
Wow.
It's fine.
Through. Quick.
Or Vogans, maybe? Yeah, see, it's the new Cybermats.
Oh, little worm.
Yeah, I guess they're kind of like caterpillars, huh?
I like the design before better. Oh god, it's huge though.
It's bigger, yeah.
Like,
But
much
it's doing the
bigger.
same thing. It's biting on the neck.
It's much, much bigger.
Yeah.
Where did Cyberman go?
Oh, look, it is. It's a very similar plague to the moon base.
What are you going to do?
Get back. He's got the plague. This is the only way to deal with it.
The man's sick. He needs treatment.
There is no treatment. All we can try to do is stop the infection spreading.
Sorry, gentlemen, I can't allow
I
it.
don't think the doctor
can't
would
allow
even
it?
recognize the Cyberman
My colleague
either.
is a doctor of medicine, and I'm a doctor of
It's
many
been 7
things.
years
We could
and I
examine
looked
him.
at
Commander, I'm afraid you'll have to kill these people too. They brought the plague in here.
Who's the homicidal maniac? Voga. What planet of gold? Yes. It's all coming back to me now.
Well, what's coming back to you?
Cybermen. That's what we're up against, Commander. Cybermen.
But surely, Doctor, Cybermen died out centuries ago.
They disappeared
According
after
to them,
their
they're all
attack
dead.
on Voga at the end of a cyber war. Not the same thing as dying out, Commander. They're utterly ruthless, total machine creatures.
Not all of them are dead. There's still
Well, this is even after Tomb of the Cybermen. So Tomb of the Cybermen was 300 years before this. And even at Tomb of the Cybermen had been gone for ages.
hear that?
She's watching TV.
It's an interesting sound today.
Come out. Magazines which departed from
What?
of zero activity. State radiation cause severe disorder.
She got it all. I don't recognize that thing at all. How does gold kill Cyberman?
That looks fun. Oh, yikes.
Oh, that looks worse than the other guy. Oh, she did. Give up on her.
That Cybermat's happened, Harry. Quick. Into the transmat beam. Quickly as you can. It's the only way to get the poison out of my system.
She's got the plague.
No, sir. That's your so-called plague, Commander.
So he's using the transmat because the transmat will focus in on human tissue only, and the poison then won't be transmitted.
Someone's taken the Pentalium drive. But who? Who removed the tape from your radio log? Who used Cybermats to murder your crew? And who's desperate to break all communication between this beacon and Voga?
There is a cure.
Exactly. There isn't time to wire this in. I'll have to hold it in position. Ready?
Oops.
You created a Cyberman.
Doctor, it's worked.
So that does beg the question, though, if the transmat only works on human tissue, how are their clothes still on?
What's going on here?
Wow. Also, how did the doctor get there?
Here I am, trying to save your life and all you can do.
I think our friend is lying to gain time.
I don't know what you mean.
But time for what?
Time for the Cyberman to show up. He's waiting.
Computer reports heavy Vogan energy discharge between the beacon and Voga. That means the humans have recently used their transmat beam.
Much better.
Leader. Time to docking. 16 minutes. Good. Order the boarding party to the forward hatch.
Yeah, let's just keep the green screen there.
It's not a green screen. It's just the lighting.
Good.
Really?
Oh. Great, just killed both of them? Or did they stun him?
I'm not sure.
Because, I mean, there's not many characters in this.
We most likely kill. Cybermen are sort of like that. Okay, it's stunned. He got stunned.
All resistance overcome. The beacon.
Also, the doctor did die. He just regenerate. So, he's fine.
Alright, here we go. We're going to try another interview. But you know what? Forget Cybermen. We're not interviewing any more Cybermen, okay? Those interviews just never turn out well. So, this time, I thought we could interview those strange-browed inhabitants of the planet Voga, the Vogans. So let's put them up on the screen right now. Hello, Vogans. Can you hear me?
O Freddle Grunt Buggly, thy micturations are to me as flirtle dabble blockets in a lurgid bee that Morbiously hath blurted out its earth and jumples into a rancid festran quintessence. Now, the journey.
Hurry, it's been 7 years. Now we have to stun you.
They might not recognize me.
Resistance overcome. The beacon
Oh,
is ours.
Yeah, they might not recognize me.
yeah, of course not.
You haven't killed them.
Of course not. We have neutralized them. They are necessary for our plan.
What are they doing?
There seems to be like a civil war going on. So some.
Leader of the Guardians, I
Yeah.
have a message. Stay where you are.
Well,
Terra has given fresh orders. My troops will hold their present positions and will not attack your view chambers
here's your sense. Your city's scum will be badly beaten.
unless we are provoked for us. Then we shall sweep you aside.
You know of the Cybermen?
Well, yes, I've heard of them. But they're meant to have been wiped out ages ago.
I remember the doctor saying that the thing
She
that
must know
attacked
about the
Sarah
Cybermen
was
from
a
the
Cybermat.
invasion. Because she would have been alive during the
Has
invasion.
wars in the madness of insanity
When was the
brought down
invasion?
the vengeance of
Remember
the
during the
Cybermen
70s, right?
upon us again.
Yeah.
You
Well,
will come with me.
yeah, so she would have known about the Cybermen from the invasion. Because they invaded Earth at that point.
Cybermen possess
Paga.
nothing that a human might want.
You are
What
incorrect.
if we
Then what
saw
is it?
her as a
You've
background
no home
character? in
planet,
the
no influence, nothing.
This is a great
You're
slide.
just a pathetic bunch of tin soldiers scouting about the galaxy in an ancient spaceship.
You speak unwisely. We are destined to be rulers of all the cosmos.
No, I don't think so somehow.
Cosmos.
You tried that once, you were nearly wiped
Who
out.
calls them
Because of
Cosmos?
Voga and its goal. If humans had not had the resources of Voga, the cyber war would have ended in glorious triumph.
It was a glorious
Oh,
triumph
look at Mir's
for
bright
human
eyes.
ingenuity. They discovered your weakness and invented the glitter gun. And that was the end of
What?
Cybermen. Those gold-plated souvenirs that
The
people
glitter
use as
gun?
hat stands. Watch it, Doctor. I think you've riled him.
That is why Voga
Be
must
great
be
at
destroyed
slumber parties.
before we begin our second campaign.
Oh, there's to be a second campaign.
So there was a cyber war that had happened between humanity and the Cybermen, and the Cybermen lost badly.
And this time,
How?
it will be invincible.
In part because of gold.
Cyberman functional. More efficiently than animal
Really?
organisms.
Yeah, smart talk to Cyberman. He is a yo-yo? Really? Oh, he does throw a lot of stuff in his pocket. Jeez.
Which is also not even close to organic material, but alright.
It's not even fabric. And if it does also detect fabric. Cyberman! How did he get there?
Transmitted with him.
How?
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, so that's what we call a plot hole.
So they
Pretty
lied?
big one. No, they didn't lie, it's just the script writers weren't exactly sure how to do it. No. Oh wait, well they're golden bullets maybe, so maybe they might work.
Trying to attract your attention.
Okay, the guns are just golden, not the bullets.
Well, maybe but they said all the stone around them was gold, so maybe the bullets are gold, but they have to hit him in the chest.
The chest?
Mm-hmm. That's where the breathing unit is. Remember, in all the other past Cyberman stories, it's hitting them in the chest that works, right?
Yeah, like the spray bottle. Was there gold in that?
No. So he's not working for the Cybermen. He's actually working for the Vogans.
Huh.
They're going to start firing missiles. What do they expect?
He's tricking the Cybermen so that he can get rid of them once and for all.
The Cybermen will explode their bombs.
It's a truck. Oh. How's he not dead? Dude, the doctor experienced far more pain than that. And he's...
What? Is Kelman's dead? What? He died from falling back a little bit? And then meanwhile the doctor's fallen, like, down in the... What? How is he dead?
Yeah!
How is he dead?
And the doctor was, like, crushed by rocks.
How is he dead? It's just like the writers are like, we're done with him.
He's fine. Well, after being almost squished by rocks. What is that?
It's the bomb. Harry's trying to take it off.
Oh,
But he didn't know. He doesn't know that it is what makes it explode.
Open that buckle and you'll be blown to kingdom come. You mean it's booby trapped? These buckles can't be opened until the Cybermen beam the release signal.
Harry, were you trying to undo this?
Well, naturally.
he's
Did you make the
fine.
rocks fall, Harry?
Well, I suppose I must have done
Harry Sullivan is an imbecile!
What? You will speak.
Do you see that gold seal in the background? The symbol of Voga?
Yeah.
That isn't just the symbol for Voga, that's the symbol for Gallifrey. That's the seal of the Time Lords.
Really?
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. Yeah, the Cybermen are just really strong. So it's hard to kind of get the drop on them.
Why couldn't you just throw it from the above?
Come on, Harry. Run for it.
That bomb is not nearly powerful enough to take out Voga. They said 3 bombs would be enough, but I mean that bomb was pretty weak, so. So they're gonna ram it into Voga. So okay, a space station loaded with bombs. I believe that would destroy Voga.
Because the space station also has gasoline.
Or fuel. It has fuel, not gasoline. They wouldn't be using gasoline in the 29th century.
Rocket is closing on the Cyberman ship.
Patch more start work on it.
More seconds. There's a missile on our port bow. Engage.
How did we not notice this earlier? Boom!
I think she'll settle down nicely into orbit now.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Finally.
There you are.
I want to see the inside of you.
I think I'll just set the drift compensators. We don't want it slipping through our fingers.
Show the inside.
Probably. I don't know if you're going to see it in this episode.
The old faithful turned up after all.
Hi.
Oh, just stand there. Come on.
Oh, all go, isn't it?
I'm needed back on Earth.
How do you know?
Left the Brigadier a space-time telegraph system and told him not to use it unless he had a real emergency on his hands.
And he's used it?
He has. Come on, you two.
I say, what about the commander? Aren't we going to stop and say cheerio?
Don't take off with him still out there. Jeez. That's it. Wow.
Anything else?
Oh, that ended fast. No. The next episode was Terror of the Vogons. So that was Revenge of the Cybermen. The only time that the 4th Doctor encounters the Cybermen in the last episode of that first season, 1975. So Andrew, what did you think of Revenge of the Cybermen?
Interesting.
Interesting. You say interesting a lot. What was interesting about it?
Well, the fact that they completely dislodged their logic.
Okay, so yeah, there were some plot holes. We can talk about the plot holes in a second, because there were definitely some plot holes. But what did you like about it?
The Cyberman voices are pretty changed good.
You think the Cyberman voices are pretty good now?
Yep.
I find that they're actually like strangely pompous, you know? It's like, oh, you know what? We are going to go and destroy this planet. Ah!
But alien.
With just a little buzz, not a lot of buzz. So yeah, they were way easier to understand this time around. But you know, they talked about this. It's like, our plans have to succeed.
When the beacon crashes into Voga, we shall be watching from a safe distance. But you will have a much closer view.
First off, I thought it was super neat how, even though this whole plague business, that's, you know, Cybermats and plague, and the plague affects like you see it like the veins and the nerves and stuff. It was like the moon base, but instead of just redoing that plot over again, the Doctor recognized it, said, "Oh, hold on, I've seen this before. This is Cyberman." Like, he knew. So that was good. It was continuity. He was like, I've seen this tactic before. This is a Cyberman. This is what the Cybermen do. They do fake plagues all the time. It's like, oh, it's a plague, but it's actually like a poison or a virus or something, right? Or not a virus, no, it was what was it, a synthetic virus in Moonbase? Something like that? In the sugar, yeah. You mentioned the Cybermen voices. Let's talk about the Cybermen costume. It's pretty much the same as the Invasion, except they've got a little head-mounted guns that they use.
Like little machine gun things.
Yeah, except they don't rapid fire. They're just... but it's weird that it's in their head, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is... And I know I've said this before, but honestly, because I know the Cybermen story's coming up, this is the only time we see a head gun for the Cybermen. Probably because it's kind of a silly design, I will admit.
Plus, it's the only time we've heard that the Cybermen are hurt by gold.
And you know what? I don't know if... Yes, no, we do see them being affected by gold in the next story with them, Earthshock, but on the whole, it just seemed to come out of nowhere, didn't it? Because, I mean, the Cybermen in the past, what have we seen? We've seen radiation kills them, okay. So for a space station like Nerva, or I think they call it Terra Nova in this one, like, you would think they'd have some radioactive isotopes aboard to power it, right? So you would think radiation, or we've seen they've been affected by paint thinner chemicals, right? Paint thinner chemicals. But this is the first time really that we've seen them like with gold. And they say gold suffocates them, right? But in the moon base, we saw the Cybermen out in space, right?
Yeah.
So do they need to breathe or don't they need to breathe?
Yeah. Not just in the moon base either. In the wheel in space, they're like.
Oh, you know, in the wheel in space, they were basically just, well, basically fluttering over to the wheel. Sort of a weird walk thing going on there. Yeah. This was a little thing that we noticed, or that I noticed throughout there, and the BBC website mentions it very, very minutely too. Voga's symbol, the circle and stuff, which I think I've just put up right here, that's the symbol of the High Council of Gallifrey. So, what's going on with that? Now, you could say from a production standpoint, they just reused it, but from a story standpoint, did the Time Lords influence things? Did the Time Lords help the Vogans with their society in any way? You know, because the Time Lords will meddle occasionally with other species and other races in their development. So did the Time Lords meddle with Voga to make them into a Cybermen killing force? And as such, now the Vogans have that symbol as their symbol? Just a little question there. What's going on? Time Lords and their meddling. You know, even though they have a non-interference policy, which we will constantly hear. Let's go back to this Cyberman plan here, okay? We have yet another stupid Cyberman plan. So apparently there was this huge cyber war. It must have been before Tomb of the Cybermen, because remember, the Cybermen were assumed extinct by that point. So sometime before the 26th century, there was a huge war between the Cybermen and humanity. And the Cybermen lost big time. Like, they were just obliterated. So much so that by Tomb of the Cybermen, like, there was no trace of them. You couldn't find Cybermen anywhere. No one had seen a Cyberman in years and years and years.
They hid themselves when they were cowards, aren't they?
Well, yeah, strategic retreat, right? So they lost big time. Now, part of the reason why is because they had these glitter guns that caused them to suffocate. These golden guns that worked really, really well. Although we saw that with the Vogans couldn't seem to shoot straight. Like, their bullets are made of gold because the entire planet is made out of gold. Or mostly, we'll say 90% gold. And all they need to do is hit the chest unit with one golden bullet, but yet not a single Vogan was able to take down any of those two Cybermen. So, okay, the Cybermen really think that these glitter guns are great. Humans think the glitter guns are great, but I mean, like, we're watching it, and it's just like either the Vogans seriously cannot aim, which is not true because we saw them shooting each other, or maybe the gold thing isn't as big a deal. Maybe the Cybermen are like, oh, well, humans, it wasn't humans, they just had a special weapon, and that's why it beat us. So, naturally, the Cybermen's plan is, here's a planet full of gold, let's destroy it, the whole thing, and then we can restart the Cyber Wars and win. But what they're forgetting is that there's only one spaceship with only like a dozen Cybermen aboard. I don't care how awesome you are at killing. You have all of humanity, the entire human race, and 12 Cybermen. These aren't the Daleks. It doesn't matter if they don't have gold. The Cybermen are going to lose. We saw a regular cyber bomb take out those two Cybermen without any trouble. And we've seen in the invasion, 20th century grenades killed Cybermen.
And those bombs were not even nearly strong.
Yeah, we'll talk about the bombs in a second.
They were weaker than the grenades.
Honestly, I think the Cybermen, they just had a really, really stupid plan. Even if they succeeded at destroying Voga entirely, you can't tell me that remember, the doctor said it's an ancient spaceship. No one has seen a Cyberman in centuries. So you got this ancient spaceship, and you've got all these 12 Cybermen in there. And somehow they think, well, once the golden planet is gone, we're going to win the war. No, guys, you're still going to lose. And you're still going to lose pathetically. Sorry. Now, anyways, yeah, let's talk about these bombs.
A dozen Daleks would destroy the human race.
Daleks could do it.
Even
Cybermen
one,
could.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a
Maybe
nuke
one.
would take them out.
Maybe, yeah.
But that would cause, bad...
So let's talk about these cyber bombs. The cyber bombs, which are apparently so destructive that they were banned by the Armageddon Accord or whatever. So they say, look, 2 of these bombs in Voga's core is enough to destroy the planet, but 3, let's make sure. And hey, I'm willing to say, yeah, guys, that's good. Don't just have good enough. Have definitely do it. But then we saw 1 bomb explode, and the Doctor and Harry had only run away for like 5 seconds. And this bomb, it blew up the guy using it, but it didn't even blow up the Cybermen. It killed them, but it didn't blow them up. They were still intact. And you would think 3 bombs capable of destroying a planet, you'd think 1 bomb going off would like blow off a chunk of the planet. But no, it just kind of like the floor was a bit charcoal. Like it's, yeah, so...
They would need at least 40 million.
Or something, right? I don't know. I'm not buying that these bombs are just that powerful. Jerry Davis, the writer of this episode, clearly he got as much use out of Kelman as he could, and then was just sick of him and was like, I don't want to have to deal with him anymore. So Kelman, for starters, is his double agent. First, we think he's working for the Cybermen, but no, he's actually working... Yeah, the Cybermen promised he can rule the solar system. But no, he's not actually working for the Cybermen. No, he's working for the Vogans. And the Vogans are going to pay him a bunch of gold and stuff. And so he and Harry are going through a tunnel, and then they get to like a cave-in part, and Harry's like, oh, hold on, it's just a few golden rocks, I can move it. And he moves it, and he causes a bit of a landslide, and the Doctor, who'd been climbing up a cliff, now falls down, thunk, and then gold rocks hit him, and he's down for the count. And meanwhile, Kelman in the tunnel beside him, he, falls backwards, and then what happens?
He just dies.
He dies!
And the Doctor was unharmed.
The Doctor was stunned. He was stunned at best. He was like, oh, right. Why did Kelman die? Why did he die? I get it. There's nothing else for him to do. I guess so. The writer's like, and then he dies. It's just like, why did he die? Yeah.
And the Doctor was crushed.
You know what would have made more sense? Is if one of the Cybermen, like there were 3 Cybermen who had transmitted down, and one of the Cybermen confronted him and said, hey, you betrayed us. You were actually working for these guys. I'm going to kill you. And then kills him.
Or why not let him also be crushed by rocks?
Sure, right? Maybe he slips down the cliff and he dies and the Doctor lucks out or something, right?
But did you see how the Doctor fell? He was like,
yeah, that's just it, right? It's just like, it's so bizarre.
He would have had a concussion if he was unharmed.
Yeah, you see, and Cybermen have a huge weakness, and I think this is why, in part, they can't win against humans. They never see when missiles are coming their way. They never see... Remember in the invasion last week?
Yeah.
Humans were... Remember, Zoe did her calculations. Humans shot missiles, 20th century missiles, at the Cybermen fleet and obliterated the Cybermen fleet. Well, okay, so these advanced Cybermen and spaceships, they don't stand up to 20th century missiles. And now, I think it's... After watching this, I think it's because the Cybermen don't notice them coming. I think the Cybermen were surprised. They're like, hey, look, a missile. It's like, well, yeah, it's been flying towards you guys for like the last 15 minutes. You know, I mean, yeah, sure, it was flying towards the space station Nova first, but then but they were docked to Nova. They're in the same area as Nova. So why didn't they see the missile coming? Why didn't they notice there was a missile on its way? Exactly. They're just like, oh, whoops. And then, boom, instantly one missile shreds their ship. Utterly destroys it. And this is, of course, why the Cybermen are still going to lose. Was there gold in that missile? Well, maybe. Maybe the missile was made out of gold, but it didn't really matter because it exploded with such force, and we've seen 20th century missiles do the same thing. All it apparently takes to take out their fleets of ships are missiles. Regular missiles.
And only to take them out is grenades.
Okay, grenades. You just need common explosives, and you can take out the Cybermen. It's so again, guys, Cybermen. Voga is not your concern. Your concern is that you guys are bad at planning. You're a little dumb, and you don't have the numbers. Just like the invasion, how fast they ended. Harry transmats up. The TARDIS arrives, and they don't even say goodbye to anyone. The Doctor's just like, let's go. And Harry's like, well, shouldn't we say anything? And the Doctor's like, no. And then they just leave. It ended so fast.
Yeah, and the Doctor was gonna leave without them too.
He started dematerializing while they were outside. It's just like, whoa, dude, you're in a rush. Did you notice episode 2 dealt a lot with all the Vogans shooting each other, and there was a civil war and lots of Vogans arguing?
Yeah.
Wasn't that boring? So boring!
I don't care about Vogans who
don't.
we're probably not going to see in the future at all.
No! And yeah, this is the thing. They're talking about politics, and there's a military leader, Vortis or whatever, and he's, you know, he's working with an undercover agent, and then the regular leader, you know, he's wanting to keep things, you know, on the DL. It's like the reason why we survive is because we stay hidden. No, we can't stay hidden. We're gonna, and it's just like I'm watching a story called Revenge of the Cybermen, not Vogans Argue. I don't care. I don't care. I watch it. I don't care about the Vogans, really. I mean, I care more about the fact that the Cybermen are just like, look, we gotta just destroy your planet. And the Vogans are like, no, thank you. Please don't.
I think I would prefer if the Vogans died. That was just...
It's so boring. And episode 2 is almost completely devoted to them.
We never ever see them again.
No, I honestly don't think we ever see Vogans again.
I don't even think the writers of Doctor Who even remember what Vogans are.
They do, actually, because they will reference it. I don't think we'll see them anymore, but they will reference it. Decision time. For Revenge of the Cybermen, what are we going to rate it?
2.8.
Whoa. This is the worst Cyberman story we've seen so far?
Yes.
This is the worst one?
Uh-huh.
All right. Because the Cybermen's plan was really, really dumb. Because Kelman, all that Vogan politics, especially in episode 2, all that Vogan politics stuff. Kelman, the giant plot holes, because yeah, there were big plot holes, and Kelman, the way like Kelman was integral to the plot and then just immediately thrown aside. All right, we are gonna give Revenge of the Cybermen 2.8 Cybermats.
Stick to the script.
No, maybe they stuck too much to the script. Maybe there was a lot of script meddling. I don't know.
Like and subscribe, and how many Cybermats would you rate this video? Say in the comments down below. And comment that your comment. What?
Comment your comments. That's right. See you next time.